Hello, everyone. Welcome to Last Mile Profits Live. I'm Ian Kerr, as it says down
Marek
there.
Różycki here.
And Marek this week. So far, so good. The technology is being kind to us. Thank you, everybody who joined us last week. And thank you, everyone who is joining us this week. Please do get involved in the chat. Just say hello. Right, whatever you like in the comments, as long as you're keeping it clean, of course. Just say hi. It's whoever you are, from wherever you are, just to let us know who's tuned in today. We are going to be talking about a couple of interesting stories that we've come across in the last couple of days in the last mile. One relating to groceries, one relating to the e-commerce behemoth that is Amazon. So please do get involved. Which way do I have to point? I think I have to point this way. Or it might be below. It could be here. It could be below. Get involved in the chat. Just say who you are. Introduce yourself to everybody. And whether you're watching us on LinkedIn or whether you're watching us on YouTube or maybe even on Twitter, who knows? In theory, I'm going live on Twitter right now, but Marek, we'll wait and see. Marek, before we get stuck into our main topics, have you already done your Christmas shopping? And have you ordered everything? Because that seems to be one of the things that there's a lot of discussion in the mainstream media is people wanting to order their goods online early for Christmas. What about you?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. My daughter yesterday was kind enough to send me her wish list. I haven't quite got through it because it's rather long, but unfortunately, it starts with a device that happens to have a D at the beginning of the name, D for Dyson. It should be
right.
E for expensive.
Right. No, all I've done is order books online this year, Marek. Oh, I've just given away what all my family's getting for Christmas. None of them are watching this, though. Perry has said hello over in the chat. All you have to do, people, just say hello in the chat, say who you are, what you're up to. So hello, Perry. Thanks for joining us today. And just chuck any comments you've got there in the chat, and we'll bring them up on screen as we go along. Yeah, Mark, I am the same though. I've done my ordering already, basically. And interestingly enough, this is something I know I'm getting off topic already. I ordered with a bookseller in Australia. No, I'll name names. It's Booktopia. No, it's not Amazon. Hello, Aku. Aku's already plugging his lockers. Aku, we might get onto parcel lockers later on, all right? There you go, cheeky. Promoting your stuff in our chat. We'll let you get away with it this time, though. I ordered half a dozen books, I reckon, Marek, and they've arrived in 4 different packages, but I only paid for postage once.
Yeah, there's a long story. We could actually, if people are interested at some stage, we could talk about how the algorithms work. But certainly at Amazon, the algorithm's designed in such a way that your delivery promise is kept. And if it means that the items are not available in one fulfillment center, then that's what potentially can happen. But the other thing is, not many people know that half of what Amazon sells is not really Amazon. So if it's FBA, quite often it will be sourced from a different location. So even if theoretically there would be a possibility to source all items and put them in one package, because they're coming from different suppliers, that could be the reason. But anyway, I think we've got some even more exciting stories. And remember, guys, you can affect what we talk about by just writing, because we've got a couple of prepped topics. But if people want something else, we can change it. Especially, this is still early days. It's a sort of alpha test. So we've got a small group of friends here. So feel free to comment, suggest what you'd like. What do you reckon, Ian? Should we get on to the first story that we had pre-planned?
I think we can get on to it since we've said hello to a couple of people already. And just do say hello in the chat, whether you're watching us on YouTube or LinkedIn. And we are streaming on Twitter. We'll see if anybody ends up watching us on Twitter. First, this discussion point today is something I thought was particularly interesting. Carrefour, and Europeans would know the Carrefour name and brand very well. Carrefour is a major supermarket chain, pan-European. It operates in a number of different European markets. And I think, Marek, they were operating in China. I have a feeling they may have pulled out of China. Maybe somebody can
I think
inform
certainly
us.
North Africa as well, Ian.
So Carrefour, now a very bold claim here from Carrefour saying they want to triple their e-commerce turnover. And tripling your e-commerce turnover, what does that mean? Delivery is at the heart of this. And I thought this is a particularly interesting thing. I'll just quickly read it out just in case you can't read it at home. The retailer unveiled a new digital strategy in Paris. E-commerce sales must triple by 2026 to achieve that goal. Carrefour is developing, I'm just reading this bit here, everybody. Carrefour is developing new services alongside the drive pickup points that are the dominant model in France. An important role is reserved for express deliveries, less than 3 hours, and quick commerce within 15 minutes. And it goes on to talk about personal shopper services such as Bringo. Or it's Bringo or Bringo. It's bingo with an R, isn't it? So I'm saying, or it's bring with an O. Anyway, on that one, Marek. And then it's also Carrefour. What it do is it Dinger. I can't remember this. It's already done some partnerships in the quick commerce space. So, Marek, a quick hello to Miguel. Hello, how are you, Miguel? Thank you for joining us. Miguel has joined us on YouTube. So, hello there, Miguel. Now, Marek, it's a number of different delivery options there. Click and collect, express, and super fast. What are your immediate comments?
First of all, this is the right way to go. Omnichannel is fundamental, and traditional retail, in my view, need to leverage the huge benefit or advantage they've got with the infrastructure that's in place. But there's a couple of elements that are needed. The secret sauce, as you know, is IT. And this is going to be the litmus test. If they're able to implement leading IT solutions, that will actually put them much closer to players like Amazon. And I hate to say it, but probably ahead of many of the carriers. So I think that's one thing. And the second thing, partnerships are going to be important if they're going to move this forward so fast. Actually, as we were talking earlier, it seems that they've understood that because my friend Vaisel at Kainiao just announced that they've started partnership in Poland with lockers, with Ali lockers outside Carrefour markets. So it's happening. I think this is the right thing to do. And I think that this is where retail players, particularly food retail players, are going to have to go.
Now, we discussed the matter of ultra-fast delivery in a recent video that we published on YouTube and on LinkedIn, discussing what future these ultra-fast delivery operators have, the likes of Gorillas and Flink and GoPuff and Fridge No More and Bike and Wheezy. Is it Wheezy or Weezer? No, Weezer is a 90s alt-rock band. Wheezy, and there's another one, the name of which I can't remember. One of the things that you mentioned in that discussion was partnerships. I think this indicates here that partnerships are going to be crucial here because I can't remember off the top of my head. Perhaps somebody can share in the chat that Carrefour has entered into an agreement with, I can't remember if they're called DJU or D something or something. There's a ultra fast delivery startup. And that seems to be a key part of it, alongside what you just said, Marek, which is the technology. Do you just put your consumer hat on for a moment, though, Marek? What the consumers really want? Do they really want this super fast or ultra fast within 15-minute delivery, and are they prepared to pay for it if there's a premium for 15 minutes over, say, a 3-hour delivery?
I think, Ian, and you're not going to be surprised to hear that, the answer will be it depends.
I nearly typed that up on the screen.
and it depends on the type of customer, what it is he's ordering or she's ordering. Because if it's the bottle of wine that you forgot for dinner that's coming up and you've got 3 guests arriving in half an hour, you might well be prepared to pay for it. If it's your mobile phone that just got flushed down the toilet and you desperately need it because you've got a super important business call, you might well be prepared to pay almost any money for an ultra fast delivery. So I'm using sort of slightly extreme examples, of course, but I think the answer is yes, some people will pay. The other thing is players, particularly like Amazon, are educating the consumer to expect ultra fast, low cost or free delivery. So that's also part of the picture. Is that where things are going? I think because players like Amazon want to own us, that is where it's going, because you want instant gratification. You want to get what you want fast in the same way that you would with a traditional retail purchase.
Now, we're going to get to Amazon educating consumers, which you just mentioned in a moment, but I want to quickly share a comment that's come in from Adamo, our friend at Milkman. Hello, Adamo. Ciao, come sta? Tutto bene, etc. Who's going to serve the quick commerce part? And if it's something they feel they have to implement because right now you must, because there's this marketing pressure, it's very hot, it's being showered in VC cash, or will it be a market segment? It's an interesting question, Adamo. And I wonder, maybe somebody else might have their own opinion in the chat. Please feel free to share your comments in the chat. Is it a real market segment, or are people just caught up in the excitement?
It's going to be market specific. It will be dependent on constellations in specific markets. So you may have some markets where, for whatever reason, a partnership is brought to bear because it makes sense for everybody, or because people happen to know each other, or because there's no alternative, etc., etc. So my view is that the way that it happens will be very dependent, sometimes on chance. But what I do think COVID has brought, and we discussed this, Ian, in the Last Mile Profits Elsewhere, COVID has created much more openness towards partnership and the sharing economy. So my view is sometimes partnerships that you would never imagine happening could become realistic. Amongst others, you know this better than I do, the posts have traditionally been very unwilling to open up their networks. That's changing. Not everywhere, but it is beginning to change.
Yeah, well, we could probably go into greater depth about posts being willing to open up their networks. We might move on quickly because we want to fit in a couple of topics today before we wrap up, and that was about out-of-home incentives. Now, over this calendar year, we've seen Amazon in a few different markets offer consumers a cash incentive in the form of a voucher or what would you call it, a credit on their Amazon account to try out-of-home delivery. So when I say out-of-home delivery, obviously I mean delivery to a Pudo or delivery to a parcel locker. So $10 in the US, $10 in Australia, £5 I think it was in the UK.
It was £5 or £10 even in the UK.
Yeah, €5 in Europe, some parts of Europe, even less in other parts. Amazon educating the consumer, Marek. So why is Amazon doing this? And just explain how, and the how and the why and all of that.
In my view, it's very, very simple. Not only does out of home give capacity, and remember, we're coming up to peak time where probably if I was an operations director in any carrier or large e-commerce, before I go to bed, the thing that will be crossing my mind is capacity, capacity, and capacity. So number one, it's proven to dramatically increase capacity. The other attractive element of it is first-time delivery. First-time delivery to out-of-home is extremely high. Where you have no cash on delivery, it can be as high as 99.56, etc. So it's a very, very good way to get high first-time delivery, which, as we all know, is the holy grail for any e-commerce player. So I think those are the reasons why they're doing it. In Amazon's case, I don't actually believe it's to save money because it's also financially efficient. I think it's to ensure that they can deliver their promises, i.e. have the capacity to deliver all of those wonderful Christmas presents, including my daughter's Dyson hairdryer for Christmas.
Aku, if you're still on the call, just share your comments on this, what you think about educating the customer into using parcel lockers. I'm sure you're all in favour of that over there at Smart Mile. The other thing that Amazon has been trying to push lately is the environmental aspect. Remember, was it last year, Amazon made a big commitment to going net carbon zero, and a lot of us sort of raised our eyebrows. Oh yeah, let's see how they do that. Well, maybe this is part of it, trying to reduce their emissions in this regard. Because there was another thing that Mike Richmond from Doddle picked up, I got it in front of me at the moment, is that Amazon is also pushing this environmental aspect when it comes to returns. So highlighting that using an out-of-home returns option might be more efficient, reduce the number of trucks on the road, I think is the phrase I use, compared to others. You got any comments on that, Marek?
It doesn't surprise me, because any argument is a good argument. And the reality is that, certainly in my view, lockers and PUDOs are very, very effective when it comes to reducing the carbon footprint. People that would challenge that view will say that, hold on, people have to specially go to the PUDO or locker. But the reality is, if you have a good network, which is proximate, or as our friends from bpost would say, is slipper distance from your home, you don't take a car, or it is automatically on your way because it's so close. Wherever you drive to, that locker or PUDO will be on your way. And my view is that for that reason, it really is ecologically smart if the network is well operated. So to give you an idea, a network like InPosts, where you have one carrier serving the machine, that carrier, I was shocked when I realized we're talking 80 plus parcels per stop. So instead of 10 or 15 vans, you've got one van delivering those 80 parcels. Extremely ecological, extremely efficient. So I understand why Amazon is doing it. Makes an awful lot of sense. And I reckon that the ecological argument is, it's just another tool to convince people to do the right thing.
Now, we've got a comment here from Aku, who's joined in to say they don't see the need to educate much. Well, Aku, also, you're operating in sort of the Nordics and that part of the world, aren't you? So that could be part of it, that we don't need to do educating so much. Once lockers are placed in high frequency or easily accessible locations, customers will select it. So that's that idea of the parcel locker advertising itself, isn't it, Marek?
I think so. And often people say to me, our market is not a locker or PUDO market. And my answer invariably, Ian, is yes, because nobody's given a suitable solution. So I think the Nordics are a perfect example. As far as I'm aware, in Finland, over 90% of B2C parcels now go out of home. And it's because they have a good network. People are environmentally conscious, and the whole ecosystem is correctly, should we say, aligned. There are places elsewhere where it doesn't happen.
Now, Aku just commented before, they're operational in Netherlands and Finland. This isn't the Smart Mile show, by the way, Aku. It's just we're feeling generous.
Yeah, we're going to start censoring if people. This is about sharing knowledge.
But, interesting what Aku's just commented here: 80 parcels per stop, or drive them to home. It's a good question. This is probably a question that we don't have time to go into today. But the idea of trip chaining, slipper distance versus the dedicated trip. There's a lot of thought and discussion around that. But Marek, we're coming up to 20 past, and we're going to try and bring this show in on time today. Do you have any final comments on this, the Amazon incentives and anything like that?
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. Adama makes a comment that knowing Amazon, there'll be 3 trucks anyway. I think they will always seek to preserve the customer experience, but at the end of the day, honestly, I think maybe it's going to be 2, not 3, which is a good starting point. And anything in this space is good. So exciting stuff. I think it's great that we managed to get engagement. We're going to be fine-tuning these live editions more and more, but we'd really be grateful for your comments and feedback so that we can make it better. It's still, are we beta or alpha testing?
Oh, I don't know if you're in beta testing or if we're in gamma testing.
Gamma now,
I don't know what order it all happens in. However, it's been great having the feedback from everybody today. Please do share more comments with us if you like, however you like, whether it's via email or send us a message via LinkedIn. We're on Twitter, by the way. Just throw the Twitter handle up there. But just share your comments now, and I'll try and scoop them up at the end, or email us. Let us know what you thought of the format, what else you'd like to see us do. If you'd like to see us do special features, if you'd like more singing and dancing, not so keen on that
No,
last
I
option.
can tell you, Ian, right now, they do not want to hear me sing.
Dancing, on the other hand, I don't know. Right. So, thanks everyone for your. Oh, Marek has just chucked in here to say that the key is that put our APMs. APMs means parcel lockers in the right location so that people can pass by. Well, location of parcel lockers is again, that's something that Marek, you and I could talk about underwater. Adamo has just suggested belly dancing. What are you saying? Just because of the pandemic, I know I haven't been to the gym much, but what are you trying to say? Something, Adamo?
I think, Ian, we're running over. Let's wrap up for today. Guys and girls, it's really great to have your comments. Please help us make this better. And looking forward to the next edition.
Thank you, everyone, for taking part. Thank you, Marek. And stay tuned for the next edition of Last Mile Profits Live. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. See you later. Bye.